Welcome everyone to episode 20 of Our Parents' Basement, a wonderful podcast that will make you want to rock and roll all night. Now, last week, well, we're not on episode 20? Yeah, we are. Aren't we?
It doesn't matter.
Okay, well.
I want to rock and roll all night.
Well, either way. Last week we talked about what we picked up in July, what we've been playing, and we played the awesome game of Google Feud. And if you missed it, well, it's your loss. But don't worry. You can always check it out at ourparentsbasement.com or download the episode via iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, and so on and so forth. With that being said, we are back, and we have a new episode for you. I'm excited about it, so why don't we just dive right in. I am Cashel. I am feeling mega stylish this evening. And with us, we have the mega awesome Turf. He's here.
That is mega-tastic.
Isn't it, though? And we also have the mega cool Zach Z. He is here as well.
Hang on, just gonna write stuff down, sorry.
He's writing stuff down. That's okay, but he's here. And as you can see, we are missing the mega wonderful Mr. Nikon, but he's here in spirit. And who knows, he might join us later. We'll see how this all goes. But that being said, if you couldn't figure it out by now, we are having a mega-themed episode tonight. Obviously, the topic for this evening is Mega Man, a classic video game icon. He is such a legend in the video game world. I am so excited to talk about him. He and I go way back. Like, we're BFFs on a first-name basis, all that good stuff. And, yeah, as you can see, I'm wearing my Mega Man shirt even to celebrate. So let's just dive right into this. This is a great franchise, so much history. Before we begin, I just want to hear this real quick. Turf, what's your favorite Mega Man game? Mega Man anything?
Mega Man 2. That's my A+ number one go-to is Mega Man 2. It's the first one that I had, and it'll always be my favorite. I think it's the best.
All right, cool. Zaxy, what about you?
Probably the one I put the most time into is Battle Network 3.
Okay. Oh, the kind of the RPG one?
Yeah.
Cool. Very nice. And my favorite would probably be Mega Man X4, but I think a lot of you already knew that, obviously, by the mural behind me. So, Mega Man, where to begin with this guy? There's just so much to say about this. I hope we have enough time to cover all of it, but we're going to try. Turf, I know you said you had some notes with you about this lovely blue bomber of ours. Did you want to lead in with some information about this guy?
You bet.
Right.
There's just a handy few things that you may or may not know about Mega Man. Obviously, of course, most people, if you're watching this podcast, you're probably well enough aware to know that in Japan he's actually Rockman, which and it's not like stone rock either. It's like rock metal.
Metal.
It's like Rockman because the female helper, Dr. Light.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, so it was rock and roll. There's other characters like treble and bass. So it's very musically themed, I guess, or it started off that way. The term Robot Master, we always think Robot Master. We think the end bosses of each level of Mega Man. That's just kind of what they're called. Well, come to find out, that doesn't start until Mega Man 3, and it goes on. They're called humanoids, I believe.
Really? Didn't know that.
There's different names for them in different games, but I think it lasted from Mega Man in the original Mega Man series. It lasted from 3 to 8 of calling them the Robot Masters. So that's a little piece of trivia. That was, I guess, 1990. The humanoids, that's what they were called in the first one, the ones that Dr. Wily built.
Yes.
Another cool piece of knowledge when I was reading up on this stuff. Each one of the Robot Masters has a serial number, and in some of the games it shows it, some it doesn't. Some of them just are in the Archie comics, some are in the anime or the cartoons. Like the first series was their DLN 000, which is Proto Man.
Oh yeah, is his name Proto Man in Japan too, or is it?
No, it's Blues actually.
Oh, okay, that's what I thought, but I wasn't sure. I heard that one time only, so I'm glad you can clarify that for me.
Blues rock.
it's blues rock or just blues?
As in, that's supposed to be what they are together, I guess.
Okay, cool.
Oh, cool. Blues rock and roll.
But Rockman or Mega Man is DLN, Dr. Light, number 001. And it goes on, and then you get to the Dr. Wily ones, they're DWN, and they start with 009. That's in Mega Man 2. DWN 009 is Metal Man. So that's kind of cool, and the different metal. And as you go down, the Dr. Cossack robots have DWN numbers. It's pretty neat.
That is awesome.
DCN number, excuse me, for Dr. Cossack. But that's a cool little tidbit that I came across when I was looking for this stuff. It's neat little pieces of history that I didn't know Mega Man went so deep.
Yeah.
But apparently there's a whole universe. I just like the games. I've never seen the comics. I've seen a couple of the cartoons, and they've got some cheese to them.
Yeah.
The cartoon that I was aware of was Captain N, when Mega Man was. That's Megatastic.
Oh yeah, the Mega Man. He talks like a damn frog, or
and he was green.
He was green. I thought he was blue at least. Was he green?
I'm pretty certain he was green, but I may be wrong. I've been wrong before. So, yeah. Have anybody else got any trivia or any tidbits from the Mega Men?
Well, I'm just interested in hearing what everyone's first exposure to Mega Man was. I think, like most people, the first time I heard the term Mega and Man together, it was when I was at a friend's house and he had Mega Man 2, not the first one, Mega Man 2, and as soon as he popped that little bastard in, the music, the difficulty, just the great tight controls, all that fun stuff, that had me hooked from the get-go. Fun fact, I didn't play the first Mega Man until maybe a few months ago for the first time. I know.
It's hard. It was crazy hard.
Yeah. Fuck you, Guts Man, and your stage. I hate you.
Yes.
You die.
Yes. Right in his gutsy guts. I would get all up in his guts because of that.
That doesn't sound right.
The Gutsman stage is awful. It just makes me mad. Just to talk about it. The little platforms.
That do this.
Yeah, they do that. No, sir. That was Nintendo hard.
Yeah, and Mega Man 2 is in comparison, it's kind of easier. It's not easy. It's still a Mega Man game, but it's easier by comparison to that one. So, oh my goodness, he was green. Well, I'll be damned.
He
looks like a scuba diver.
That's Scuba Steve.
But yeah, that's me. Mega Man 2 is my first exposure. Zaxi, what about you? What was the first time you saw Mega Man?
Actually, the first time I ever saw Mega Man was the Western cartoon.
Really?
Okay.
Your first exposure was the cartoon. That's crazy.
Yeah, and that was kind of the thing. I watched it every once in a while, but I really can't tell you any single part of it.
Well, what channel did it come on? Do you have any? Can you remember that?
No idea.
Was it syndicated or was it
I think it was WB or UPN or something like that.
Okay.
Fox.
My God, when it was running, it was 94 to 96, so I was between 3 and 5.
That's awesome.
Such a youngin'. But you remember it sounds like you actually remember watching it, so.
I remember, he would touch on the forehead of one of the guys, and where all of a sudden you would see the microchips in his head.
Oh yeah, that's right.
The powers.
I forgot about that. There's this dramatic pose he did when he got one, and it was so over the top.
Yeah, my first experience with the Mega Man game was Mega Man 8.
I like that one.
Is that the PlayStation one?
Yeah. Just over at a friend's house, and where they had a PlayStation, that was one of the games they had. Don't remember getting too far in it, though.
It was also hard.
But, yeah, and then I guess kind of Mega Man just fell off until actually the Battle Network series. For me.
See, that's kind of where I fell off too. I was, the series didn't fall off. I was big into 1, 2, 3, 4, and then I kind of faded on 5 and 6 because 4 was not as good as 3. And then whenever we got the Battle Network, the Game Boy Advance games and things like that, and the GameCube games, I didn't even touch it. So if you can shed some light on any of that to me.
Well, I mean, that's kind of like where I got back. I got actually on the Mega Man kick, I guess you could say.
And that's why this show, works, folks, because we fill up each other's gaps in a non-sexual way.
Oh my. So Mega Man 2 for me, and Zaxi was Mega Man Battle Network. And what about you, Turf? What was your first exposure to Mega Man? The show,
the third
rather.
one.
The third one. That's right.
That was the first Mega Man game I ever picked up.
Gotcha.
My the first game Mega Man game I ever played, I knew one was out there, but I rented Mega Man 2, and I got to play in it, and it was really good, and that was a good time. It was one of those that you're playing and you have it for 2 days, so you wake up the next day early before, like at 6 o'clock in the morning before school, just so you can play it.
I still do that, but yeah.
I got all the way to Dr. Wily's Castle in those 2 days. I mean, I put some time into it. It was one of the first games that I really just I rented this and I have to have it. I've nearly beat it, but I have to have it. So whenever time came around for me to get another game, whether it be Christmas or birthday or whatever, I knew I had to have it. So I've still got this very same copy of Mega Man 2, and it even has my writing on the side. I put a little label on it, my little 8-year-old writing on the side that says Mega Man 2.
Aww. Man, when you mentioned Dr. Wily's Castle, I immediately thought of that music that plays when you first get there in Mega Man 2. Oh, so good.
Yeah,
that's the one. Oh my god, I want that to be like my ringtone, my text tone, my alarm clock. I want that to be everything.
I want that played every time I enter a room. Every time I walk in a room, I want my own theme music like a wrestler. Like when they show up for work, they get music. I want the same thing. When I show up for work, I want ba-da-da-da, ba-da-da-da. You know.
You sit down in your cubicle. Meanwhile, everyone else is like, "What the fuck? Where is this music coming from?"
Why is this happening?
So good. And as we talked about our first Mega Mans and our favorite ones, but as Turf mentioned and as Zach also mentioned, there are a lot of spin-offs with Mega Man. I mean, yeah, you have 1, 2, 3, and so on, all the way up to now we're up to 10. But there's lots of little like side stories or spin-offs, if you will, that I think are, for at least from the ones I played, are just as good. I haven't played all of them, but a lot of them, what I've experienced, are pretty damn great. One that I immediately think of, which Turf has, Mega Man Soccer. Tell me, what's that like? Is it as cheesy as I think it is?
Well, for what it is, it's a soccer game, obviously, and it's Mega Man. You have Mega Man characters playing kind of like Nintendo World Cup soccer. It's not like a super serious soccer simulator or anything. It's just you've got some Mega Man characters running down the field and trying to kick goals. It's different. And I mean, I say that, just like that's it. But I mean, it's plenty deep. It's a fun game. You got the little canister guys that can be on your team, or the different robot masters, or Rockman and Roll. It's a cool game. It's definitely not something I would have thought was going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't see it till later on. I didn't know when it first came out. I didn't know about it. So I was collecting by the time I found it. Like, oh, this is cool. And I ended up picking it up. I was like, this is weird and odd and everything else. So, but it's a nice thing to have anyhow.
Yeah. Who else here has also played? We also have the Mega Man Legends series. Has anyone ever played those?
I got the first one. That's about it. I haven't played it yet.
You haven't played it yet? Turf?
I played Mega Man 64 for a little while.
Oh,
Mega Man 64 is Mega Man Legends.
Yeah.
So I did that and put it down immediately because he didn't have a helmet on, and I didn't like that.
You didn't like his polygon hair? Giant spike?
I do not. I do not like my Mega Man with hair. I want him to be a robot. I don't need. Even though was it 2 or 3? It was 2. At the end of 2. He takes his helmet off. So
yeah. At the beginning of 2, he has his helmet off. As it scrolling up that building, Yeah. Mega Man with his hair going like this.
Blowing in the wind.
I know. He's such a
very heroic,
debonair hero.
So I mean, I don't know. I wasn't into it. It wasn't Mega Man. I want to go through 2D, excellent 2D platforming. I want to beat a robot master. I want to get his power, and I want to move on with my life and get the next guy.
Yeah, I agree. I liked Mega Man Legends for a bit, but I don't know. Mega Man in 3D, not really a good mix. Kind of like Mega Man X7. When Mega Man goes into 3D, it just doesn't. It's usually a recipe for disaster. So,
Well,
no.
Mega Man was kind of he's got one of the icons of 2D. I mean, that was 2D platforming at its absolute best. And then, do we really need to add depth to this? I mean, we just need to have up and down, left and right. That's all we need. Daddy don't need no third dimension.
Exactly. Besides, I mean,
So
yeah,
shooting in other directions would help.
well, that's what the Metal Blade is for.
That's true. You get the metal blades, you can go diagonals. You go 8 directions with that little dude.
But that's only a one game.
Yeah, but it makes the game kind of broken too, because Mega Man 2 gets really easy if you use the
Once you get
metal
that.
blade. If you use it constantly.
And in Mega Man 3, they had the Shadow Blade, which was kind of like that, just not as strong. And it didn't go as far either. But yeah, the Metal Blade in Mega Man 2, I mean, once you beat that chump Metal, you basically won the game. I mean, yeah, it's still hard in some ways, but that thing made it so much easier. So, and then by Mega Man 3, he was able to, blew my mind, he was able to slide by hitting down an A. He would slide underneath obstacles and stuff. I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And then by Mega Man 4, you could charge his Buster. I mean, where does it end?
Was
It ended there.
4, when it had beat, was that 4 or did 5?
5.
5 brought beat.
It was awesome.
And then
I love Beat. He just this little cute little bird just wrecking shit.
and 6 had the jetpack, right?
The jetpack, it had that power punch thing, just break walls with stuff.
So, in the NES games, I mean, 1 was extremely hard. 2 was a better version of 1. Then
Yeah.
3 was still good, and it added the slide. Then 4 added the Mega Buster. 5 added beat, and 6 added more rush powers.
Yep.
So, I mean, that was they were always adding something to the series, so it was always continually getting better.
Mm-hmm.
Then they had to go to the third dimension, and you know where that goes.
Yeah. Well,
What about 7?
yeah. What about 7? I was just about to ask that. I only played that once. And that was years ago. I cannot remember a thing about it.
I played all. See, the Anniversary Collection has 7 and 8 on it, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I played all of them. I went years ago with the Anniversary Collection, but I don't remember anything about it at all. I remember 7 has a lot of you have to memorize there's a lot of kind of cheap deaths that if you don't memorize where to fall when you jump down, you're going to hit some spikes. I remember that about it. It was difficult, and it was it kind of got to where there was more memorization than skill.
Gotcha. That's kind of how 8 was, because a lot of the stages had you on rails. Were kind of on rails, so you had to jump, slide, shoot. You had to time everything correctly. It was still fun. It was also one of the best looking Mega Man games, but yeah, there wasn't much skill. It was more about muscle memory and that sort of thing.
Well, then they brought back after that. They brought back 9 and 10. Did y'all play 9 and 10? The download only versions.
Loved it.
I did too. I loved it. It was a return to the Mega Man that I loved. It was just they had maybe was that one of them that had Clown Man and
Clown
Sheep
Man was 8.
Okay, so Sheep Man was in one of the.
Yeah, that was 10, I think.
Did he also have the first female one?
Yeah,
that was a 9.
And you know what? That wasn't bad. It fit. It was the mermaid chick. I can't remember her name.
Oh, what was her name? Something woman. It wasn't man.
Was it Sea Woman? Because it couldn't have been Seaman.
Hey. I'm not sure, but yeah, the first female boss robot. I thought that was pretty ballsy of them. Pun intended. So that was cool. And I love that it was it was a throwback to Mega Man 2. You couldn't slide, couldn't charge your shot, but I didn't care. It was still fun.
It was Splash Woman. That's what it was.
Splash Woman. That's what it was.
And I mean, they had some good robot masters in those games. I mean, they were silly. Plug Man was kind of a. But,
that's a stretch.
And Galaxy Man was kind of a stretch. And Jewel Man, but still, I mean, you had cool stuff like Splash Woman, Tornado Man, Magma Man. Yeah, Concrete Man.
I don't remember him. Must have been not very memorable. Sorry about it. Huh.
Well, there's kind of a formula that they went with that. There's a fire guy, there's generally like a ice guy, electric guy. There's a formula to it.
Yeah. Oh, you're right. I didn't think about that.
But then there's some.
Flame Man.
There was like Pump Man, Blade Man looked like something out of Silent Hill. That dude was creepy.
Is that the one who had like the sword head, like the long?
Yes, his head was a sword.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's some bullshit. Still.
And then there was Sheep Man. Sheep Man was kind of the really.
Another stretch.
Yeah.
And there were some Mega Man games on the early PCs as well. They didn't have music, which I thought was weird, but they had their own unique boss robots. And now I'm not sure if you can even find them. But
I know.
Did anyone else play those but me?
I've never played them. I've seen them, and I saw one like an electronics boutique when I was a kid, and went, huh, that's cool, Mega Man on the computer. But I never had a computer that would run games. Yeah. I was playing like on my IBM 256 with Wheel of Fortune with Vanna White that had red hair and a green dress because those are the only two colors it would do.
I'm sorry, I just actually found it on the Mega Man wiki, and well, it looks like something that, like a bad fan art.
Yeah, it was an ugly looking game, but there was like Oil Man and Nuke Man or something like that. They had some really out there ones.
I just put the image in the chat.
So I need to have a look at this just to reminisce. And yep. Oh, this is the one I was thinking of.
Sonic Man and Dynaman.
Remember Sonic Man?
I like his mohawk on his motorcycle helmet. That's pretty awesome.
I like Mega Man's expression.
It's the same one I just made.
Yeah. So we got Mega Man. We got some of the spin-offs. We haven't talked about my favorite series of it yet, Mega Man X. Did anyone else love it as much as I do? I mean, I love
probably
that
not
series.
as much as you do, but I'm a fan. I do like X because X gonna give it to you.
I mean, the early games are all right.
What you mean X through X2 and X3?
Basically.
Yeah, I love those. Love X4, obviously. But my biggest problem with the ones on the Super Nintendo is since the day they came out, they were always really expensive. Like the moment X3 hit the store shelves, it was already crazy high price. So the only way we got to play it growing up was via Blockbuster rentals. So never actually owned a copy of it. I have it in the Mega Man Anniversary Collection, or the Mega Man X Anniversary Collection, but yeah, that's like one of the most expensive games in the series, I think.
Yeah, I never did get X2 or 3, or 7 for that matter, but I do have the X collection for GameCube, and it's good stuff. It's fun.
Love it.
All the X, I've played through all of them, and they're slightly different in what they do, but they're fun. They're good games.
And
that was the start of the Maverick Wars, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were called Mavericks from the get-go. Even though they're just animals, but yeah, they're called Mavericks because it sounds edgier.
Yeah, I like that in the Mega Man X series, they would the Robot Masters were some sort of animal to go along with their not just the element, they were a critter too.
Mm-hmm.
So I always thought that was pretty neat. Something a little bit more creative than just Blast Man.
Instead, you have Blast Hornet, Mega Man X3. And you just remind me of something, Turf. The stages. I mean, the boss robots are great, but going through their stages and how unique each one was, that's just as important to the Mega Man universe.
And they were all themed. The level was something that would the boss or the Robot Master fit for that level. So I mean, I guess the first one that came to mind was Flash Man, but that doesn't really work because it was like an ice slick level.
And Mega Man 2, yeah.
Yeah, but when you play like Heat Man, the dude was a Zippo lighter for all practical purposes.
He was.
He had the lava level, and stuff like that would just always fit. Like the Metal Man, there was like machinery going. It was like
conveyor belts and
Yeah.
Drill bits.
There was all the stuff that, it fit them. It fit their character. And then when you, like Mega Man X, they had Flame Mammoth was one of them, and he had the fire type level. And what I loved about Mega Man X is if you went back and finished like Chill Penguin before you went to the Mammoth, Flame Mammoth level, his level would be frozen. So apparently, like Chill Penguin was controlling the temperature of something. I don't know. I didn't read any backstory or anything like that, or don't remember it. But what happened is what you did in one level, the order you went in, affected other parts of the game. I always thought that was really neat.
Yep, and that happened again with if you were to do Storm Eagle stage before you did Spark Mandrill stage, his stage would be a little bit easier. Otherwise, there would be like electric currents flying at you. Whereas if you did Storm Eagle stage first, I guess the plane crashed into the plant, and it makes things a little easier for you. So little touches like that were so cool, and of course the fact that X could power up with armor parts, I thought that was so badass. And you could charge his special weapons. I mean, you could charge them. It was so cool.
Actually, one of the neatest things I think with the original game for Mega Man X is that I believe it's like a completion bonus. Beat the game one time, go to a certain area, and you can actually get the Hadouken.
Yes.
Close. What you have to do is you have to get all the power-ups, all the hearts, all the E-tanks. Then you have to go through Armored Armadillo stage. I think it's either 4 or 5 times. And on the 5th time you go, there'll be another Dr. Light pod. And Dr. Light will appear dressed as Ryu from Street Fighter, and you'll get the Hadouken. So
there was some kind of crazy jump you had to make too. You had to you were on that little cart, when it was at a certain spot, you had to jump and then skip up the wall, and it was really difficult. But then when you went to Dr. Wily's stage, it made life a lot easier. Sigma, excuse me. When you went to the
just watching
last,
that for you.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. But that Hadouken was it was a one-hit kill for everything, so
that's right.
It made life so much easier.
And in Mega Man X2, you can get the Shoryuken. You didn't have to go through such lengths, but yeah, you can get Ryu and Ken's Dragon Punch if you knew where to look.
Huh,
so
did not know that.
Oh yeah, it's a little harder to pull off because the Super Nintendo pad fighting games, not the best combination, but
yeah. In 3, you could get the Tiger Uppercut, and in 4 you could. I'm completely making stuff up now. 4 you get the Sonic Boom, and in 6 you got
Lightning
Immortality, and 7 you got a hand job.
You're crazy.
No, I'm sorry.
You would get one for actually
the 100-hand slap. I'm sorry, the E Honda 100-hand slap. It's a job to do. That's what I meant. Sorry. I apologize.
Filthy mouth, just filthy.
Sure, filthy minds is what it is.
Yeah, so good. And there's still some other series as well.
And right after Mega Man X, chronologically comes Mega Man 0.
Love those as well. Those are hard.
Those are hard as
hard-ass games.
See, I have the 0 collection for DS, I believe. Isn't that what they're... Yeah, I have that, and I tried to play it, and it is hard. It's hard to get started. So
dude, I'll be honest. I use an emulator. Save states help a whole lot.
I played it legit, but I did swear a lot, so I had to go to church a few times to repent.
Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
All right, and after that one, I guess comes the ZX series.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, like I said, I'm just kind of looking through this, and where apparently the main female character from 0, Dr. Seal or something like that, she apparently makes like an appearance in that game. So I think that does come after it, and where it does mention Reploids and stuff.
Did anyone else play ZX or ZX Advent?
Yeah, I'm out now.
I never did. That was actually one of the few that actually got me or that I was actually interested in after the bazillion games that were coming out on the Game Boy Advance.
Yeah, ZX was fun. It was also really really difficult, and it had a really stupid save system, so that kind of sucked. ZX Advent, it really improved upon ZX, and the fact that you can actually turn into the boss robots or the Mavericks, that was pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. So there was that. But in comparison to Mega Man X and Mega Man Zero, not as fun.
Yeah. And I really don't have anything else to say about it.
About ZX?
Yeah. Just that it was one of those games that interests me in a sea full of just random shit. Because honestly, after the whole Battle Network stuff, it really did get like there's way too many Mega Man games coming out right now. I think that people tend to forget that.
Yeah, they kind of flooded the market when there was ZX and Zero
you had Battle Network Zero, the Zero series going out at the same time. You had that god awful remake of Mega Man and Bass.
Is that awful?
Yeah.
For the Game Boy Advance?
The Game Boy Advance game is?
I heard that was fun.
Oh, it's not fun.
Is the Japanese version, the Super Famicom version, better?
From what I hear, yeah.
Huh.
Because they zoom it in way too much, make the sprites too big.
Okay, I could see that. Yeah, I played Rockman and Forte, and that was a blast. So,
not to mention, also just it chugged at areas, I believe.
Who?
Chugged.
Slow down.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh, really? God.
It basically had the same exact problems that Sonic Genesis had.
Well, damn, that's disappointing because I was always interested in that game. I mean, I've already played the hell out of Rockman and Forte, so I figured, no point. But damn, that upsets me.
But yeah. Anyways, real quick, just to kind of sum up the rest of the stuff, you have Mega Man Battle Network, which is Mega Man in cyberspace, and where after that you have Mega Man Star Force, which I remember seeing like the first few episodes of the anime, and after that I know absolutely nothing about it.
There were some Mega Man games for the Game Boy, weren't there?
There was a Mega Man series for the original
Dr.
game.
Wily's Revenge.
Wasn't there more than one though? I thought there's
6 of them, I believe.
On the-
5 at least.
They also, well, I meant that's pretty much like the exclusive one.
Okay.
Other than that, there's also Mega Man Extreme, which is Game Boy Color version.
Those are the ones I was
Mega
also
Man
thinking
X.
of.
Oh, we forgot about the Genesis one.
There was a Genesis one?
The Wily Wars.
Huh.
It was a Sega Genesis.
Wasn't that
Sega
basically
Network exclusive in the United States? You had to be.
Wait, wasn't that basically the one that was a remake of the first 3 games?
Yes.
Super Mario All-Star style?
Yes, it was that's exactly what it is. And it remade the first 3 games and made them kind of 16-bit style. It was really neat. You can get if you feel like it, if you feel the need, you can get a repro card of it. So that's how I played it. And it's neat. It's cool to see the bright Genesis colors Mega Man brought to life. On those real bright Genesis style graphics.
Mm-hmm. Such a good series. I just have so many good memories with Mega Man as a whole. I mean, yeah, starting with Mega Man 2, and it's one of those games that I'll just pop in from time to time and do a speed run, or if it's one that I'm not too familiar with, I'll try to master it. I mean, for example, Mega Man X8, I'm still not very good at that game, but I'm still plugging away at it. All those games that just have so much nostalgia and fun for me. I just love the series so much. And I know Mr. Nikon is not here, and Mr. Nikon is a huge Mega Man fan, so when you watch this, know that we are thinking of your mega awesome self as well. So, how are we doing on time, my friends? It's about time to... What time do we start this shindig thingy? I'm not paying attention, obviously.
Are any of us?
We're probably about 30 minutes in. Let's just keep rolling, man.
Okay, cool. In that case, let's keep it up.
About 40 minutes in.
as you all know, Mega Man is kind of there hasn't been a Mega Man game in quite some time. But there is that, I guess, shit-tastic game called Mighty Number 9. Has anyone played that besides me? Or has anyone played that besides not me? I have not played it yet. Sorry. How is it? Dare I ask?
Below average.
And this is from Mega Man's creator, right? Mighty Number 9. This is his baby.
You know, honestly, I'm gonna look that up real quick. I've heard just kind of like he's more of a businessman than he is an actual Mega Man creator.
Well, Inafune, I thought he was the creator. I thought he always gets credit for it.
That's what I thought too.
But
I know that the guy behind Bayonetta and stuff, he said that he was a good marketing man.
Huh. Did not know that.
I haven't played it just because I forgot about it, and I love Mega Man, but if it's trying to be Mega Man, then I really don't have no interest in it. If that makes sense at all.
I understand what you're saying, but it's supposed to be the spiritual successor, so who knows?
Yeah. One thing I don't like is when they try to make it something more than what it is.
All right. Apparently, Akira Kitamura, he was the one who created the original static pixel art for Mega Man.
And is he working in Mighty Number 9 now, or is that just a little fun fact for us?
Well,
It's right on the Wikipedia page, it's saying created by Akira Kitamura, designed by Akira Kitamura. So
the Kaiji Inafune is the gentleman's name. He's the head of research and development at Capcom, best known as the illustrator and co-designer of the character Mega Man. So I'm assuming this cat that you're talking about is the other co-designer.
yeah.
So yeah, he's good. He gets credit for it. Inafune is the one that you always hear.
Yeah.
That gets credit for the Mega Man games, and he's the one that went on to make Mighty Number 9, which he may or may not have. He said he wanted to be the spiritual successor, but I don't know. I don't know how it worked out. I have it. I just my Wii U's crippled at the moment. It won't play discs, so I've got to make time to send that off to Nintendo and get it fixed. But yeah, that's the only way. That's why I haven't played it yet.
Well, when you play it, let me know.
Apparently, here's some other stuff that he's kind of done recently. The Soul Sacrifice games on the Vita.
Inafune did that?
He was a gaming concept designer for that.
Was that Inafune or?
Inafune, yeah.
Okay.
And he also worked on Yaiba Ninja Gaiden Z. He was a producer on that, so that actually kind of explains a bit. And where he also was the promotion producer for Azure Striker Gunvolt.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That game's getting physically released soon, which I am so excited about. That looks cool.
Well, all right.
Have you seen that at all? Am I the only one who's like fanboying over it right now? I must be.
So.
Okay. I mean, I'm interested.
I'll clean up my mess afterwards then. Sorry about it. So.
I mean, I played Mighty Gunvolt, which that's a much better Mega Man game than Mighty Number 9 is.
Well, I saw the footage of Azure Striker Gunvolt. It's a mouthful. And it reminded me so much of Mega Man ZX. I hope so. It reminded me so much of Mega Man ZX, Mega Man ZX Advent, and of course Mega Man Zero. So it just looks like a cool game. I love the artwork, and one of the great things about Mega Man I think is that it's perfect for pick up and play. Pick it up, play a few levels, put it down, and go about your business. And this new one looks like it follows that same formula. So that excites me. No more need for those stupid passwords with the stupid red dots and the stupid grids and I hate those things. I can't be the only one who hated those passwords from back in the day.
Well, I kind of liked it. I liked it better than numbers and letters. That was my Mega Man manuals have lots of little squares drawn in the back of them, telling me what I need to do, and it was easier to figure out secrets. Like you could put one in, was it maybe A6, a red dot in Mega Man 3 and get all the energy tanks. I always liked that. Yeah.
Oh, well,
I played it when you're a kid and you have time on your hands.
yeah.
You'd try different ones and see if it had a result, but it would just start the game with 9 energy tanks, so that was cool.
See, of the ones on the Nintendo, Mega Man 3 is actually my favorite, so that would have been really useful to have, because it's also a pretty hard game, I think. So.
And on that one, you could hold right on the control pad on player 2, and you could jump in the pits.
High jump, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
That
was a changer from way back.
Hey,
oh, man.
Real quick, what I was talking about earlier about Hideki, if you just check that link.
Okay.
Linky Poo. For those who are listening, he sent us a link, which is in kanji. He's a businessman, not a creator, is what the caption says.
Yeah, where it was
means.
Okay, I got you.
Or what he for the retweet from Silverstone 14, or how the hell do you pronounce that? Well,
yep. I'm gonna say that.
Yeah. Are you a fan of KG and Infinity's work?
I'm gonna say that there's a little beef there. Sure sounds like it.
Speaking of which, why did Keiji Inafune leave Capcom in the first place?
Capcom's taking a dump. That's
fair enough.
Probably why. Even rats know when to jump off of when a ship's going down.
Let's see what it says.
But
he would be leaving Capcom.
Well, guys, let's for a second. There's been all these Mega Man games. There's been all these different.
All right, real quick. It was apparently with the intention of starting his life over.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
What were you saying, Turf?
I was gonna say, there's all these Mega Man games that from all over. There's probably 70 something, if I'm just guessing, Robot Masters that have been made for the Mega Man games. There's probably, and that's not even counting the ZX, the Z's, the X's, the R's, whatever else. The guys you played soccer with. So I thought it might be fun for us to kind of come up with our own ideas, maybe for maybe a Robot Master, maybe a stage, and just kind of let me know what you think. What kind of ideas you might have come up with?
Well, I have an idea. So I made a little sketch. I can't draw, but I tried. This is, I'm not sure if you can see it. This is Glamour Man, and instead of a buster, he has a bouquet of roses, white roses, because they're hard to grow. He has a very jaunty hat with a big feather in it, and when Mega Man defeats him, he gets the bouquet cannon. It shoots roses out in 8 directions like a fan shape. It wouldn't be very effective against anyone, but it's glamorous, and
that guy is sassy. He is sassy.
Oh yeah, he has his hands on his hip, like that's how I stand, and yeah, he has a big old hat with a feather in it. I mean, why not? So that's Glamour Man.
Because he's been pimping since been pimping.
And yet that power-up sounds more useful than half the ones in Mighty Number 9.
You're just really pissed at Mighty Number 9, aren't you? You're just like that hurts your soul.
That honestly, I was really hoping that'd be like my real jumping point into sort of the Mega Man style games.
And they took a dump on you, huh?
Oh, it was nasty.
Dude, just go. You've got a GameCube. Get the Anniversary Collection and jump off there.
How much is that now?
I don't have any idea.
I think
about mine
PS2
years
was
ago.
cheaper.
It was like $30.
Two price charting.
What about you, Turf? Do you have a Mega Man boss robot idea?
Well, I have an excellent idea. Mine was more along the idea of the robot and the stage. I wanted to do Gator Man, and I wanted him to live in the sewers of New York.
Wait, Gator like alligator or Gator like the tractor company?
No, like not the John Deere gator. I'm
Okay.
talking about the alligator. But I wanted Gator Man, and he's somewhere between. I think he has a New York accent, so like stereotypical, like very offensive New York accent if anybody's from New York. So I want him to have that accent. I want him to possibly dress like maybe Bebop from the Ninja Turtles. You know, the gangster from the not gangster, but like not mobster gangster.
He was
but
pretty
like
gangster, but yeah.
gang member from the '80s. I want him to look like that and be an alligator in the sewers of New York. I didn't really think anything about his weapon, what it might be.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I guess I don't know. I can't even think of what a alligator would have or anything else that might be in the sewers of New York besides like used condoms. But that would have been gross.
Turtles.
Yeah, but see, I was trying to stay away from the Ninja Turtles because when I was thinking about it, I kept going to Leatherhead. Because for a minute, when I was thinking about this, he was going, "I guarantee you," and have the Cajun accent. But that would have been too much of a ripoff of. So I kind of veering away from that. But I wanted him to be an alligator in the sewers of New York, just kind of go along with that mythos, that urban legend, I guess. I had a couple cool ideas that I was sitting around, I was pondering this as I was driving because that's what I do, and I'll rattle off some more that just ideas that I had. I had TNT Man. I want him to have like a plunger for a head, you know, like the Roadrunner plunger, you know.
Oh yeah.
I want him to the TNT and like some kind of explosive type gun. I thought that would be cool.
Actually, I can actually see this like an 8-bit pixel of this right now as you describe it. I'm seeing this right now in my head.
I want him to, like 2 eyes and maybe like say TNT where his mouth should be, and have the plunger sticking up at the top of his head. I thought that would be like a cool idea. Just you could do it like a mine type level and explosions and stuff like that. I had the idea of a slasher man. I wanted to like take like the idea of like Jason and Freddy and Michael Myers and stuff like that, and make like a horror themed level with and have these slasher type elements added to the. I don't know, maybe instead of like metal blade, he had a machete. That would be kind of cool.
Right. I could see this too.
I was once again pondering the many thoughts of the universe. Like a steampunk type level. I could have been like Steam Man. He was a robot that instead of ran on whatever energy they run on, he ran on steam. I thought that would be kind of a cool idea. The goggles and the whole deal. I don't know what his weapon would be. Yeah, bowler hat. I didn't even think of that. That'd be great. Then this one's ridiculous, and I just thought it would be funny. I wanted the Rube Goldberg Man. Now, if you don't know what a Rube Goldberg machine is, it's like the overly complicated way to do something simple. Like, there's 15 steps to pushing your toast down in the toaster.
So basically, you would shoot in one area, and where it just have an overly complicated track just to kill the guy. Right.
It would be like a game of Mousetrap, if you remember that board game. It would be like that. The dude would shoot one time, and like dominoes would fall, and then a boot would kick a ball, and I don't know. It was ridiculous, and I thought it was funny.
You mentioned Mousetrap. That game never worked for us. Like, something always fell before it was supposed to.
That's because it was a Rube Goldberg machine. Everything had to be set up perfect.
So we got Gator Man, the TNT Man, or no, Plunger Man rather.
It was TNT Man. That was his name.
Rube Goldberg Man, Slasher Man. I got Glamour Man. We just need 3 more. We have a game. So.
Come on, Zach. You can do this. Bring it to the house.
He's cracking under pressure right now. I don't think he can do it.
The Queen Man, under pressure.
There you go. Perfect.
There's a good one.
Actually, I was trying to think of what to make it, or how to make it, and maybe an Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
Metal.
Dude, look, like Torture Man, and like he actually is an Iron Maiden.
So we're up to 7 now. We've seen one more.
But
Iron Man.
Just Iron Man's like the last guy. just a big finger to everybody. Like, okay, you've done well, but now you have to fight Iron Man.
Well, he was in some of those Capcom fighting games, so I guess it kind of fits. So, all right, we are at 10:30 about. So it is about time for us to give everyone a mega farewell. So, Turf, where can we listen to this stuff again?
Well, if you're listening to us on the YouTubes, if you're watching our beautiful faces, you can find all of our episodes right over there. Right over there. You can find more of us from the YouTubes. You can listen to the audio-only podcast at on iTunes, on Stitcher, on Google Play. Those are all wonderful places to listen to us. You can also check out all the video on ourparentsbasement.com. And if you look at those, you like what you see, you want to talk to us. You're like, hey, I got an idea. I got an idea for a Mega Man bad guy. Here you go. I'm going to send you a sweet tweet at OPB Podcast. Or I'm going to hit you up on Facebook, facebook.com/OPB Podcast. And you're getting really saucy and you don't want to have it out in public, but you got something you need to say to me, send it to opbpodcast@gmail.com. So there's how you can get a hold of us, how you can find more of us, how you can enjoy this lovely little hangout that we do every week.
That is awesome. This was a lot of fun. I want to thank you both for indulging me in the Mega Man talk. Mr. Nikon, you were missed. We will talk about Mega Man again some other time because I know you're a huge fan. But for now, we will be signing off. And remember, you can check us out next week, same time, same place. So until then, keep it metal.
Rock.
Rock and roll.
Peace.